Hi guys, it's Sarah with Sassy Quilting. I've gotten a lot of requests to do the teeny tiny bee collage kit, and so that's what I'm going to do for you today. In order to do this, you're going to have to purchase the pattern and the fabric kit. Unless you have your own fabrics, you can use your own, but I purchased the fabric kit from fiberworks-heine.com. The pattern itself comes in this booklet, and this is group number 6 of the teeny tinies. It has a rooster, a hen, and we're going to be doing this bee here. Also, I purchased the fabric, and this is what it comes looking like. And I'll put the link in the video so you have that. Okay, so let's get to it. So to begin, we're going to cut out the teeny tiny bee collage pattern, and we're going to tape it down to any surface. And then you're going to take a 19 by 23 inch piece of Pattern Ease foundation, and I center it over the bee and I tape it down on top of that. That way while I trace it, it doesn't move. So then you can use a pen, a pencil. Don't use a mechanical pencil because that will tear through your Pattern Ease, but you can use a regular pencil. Here I'm using a Sharpie, and I'm going to just trace on top of the Pattern Ease and the pattern underneath. This Pattern Ease foundation is the base for your entire project, and then it will remain the base and it will be a part of your quilt. Once you're done tracing the collage, you're going to take out the pattern from underneath and place the Pattern Ease foundation back on your surface, and you can tape it down. If your Pattern Ease had any kinks or folds in it, it's okay to take an iron to it to flatten it out before you start tracing. So now you want to prepare your fabrics, and what you're going to do is take the seam 2 and you're going to tear it apart, and you're going to make sure that the sticky side is facing upward because you're going to attach your fabric to it. That other top piece of paper can go in the trash once you've used what's underneath it. So I'm taking my fabric right side up and I'm placing it on top of the sticky part of the seam 2. Once you have your fabric placed, you're going to use this Goddess application pressing sheet. What this is it's a barrier between your iron and the glue on the seam. Because your fabrics may or may not be touching, there might be cracks in between them where the glue is exposed, and you don't want to get that on your iron. So you want this pressing sheet to protect your iron from all the stickiness. You can turn on your steam or you can leave it off, it's up to you. And then once you've ironed it down really good, and take your time ironing because it takes a lot of heat to get your fabric to stick to the glue. You lift up that pressing sheet and fold it over, and there'll be some sticky parts on it. Just wipe that off before you move on, and then continue ironing. So continue that with all your fabrics. I used about 1.5 yards of steam a seam too for this particular project. So now I'm taking the glued fabric to the cutting board and I'm going to cut out all the different squares. There's no rhyme or reason to it. I'm not using a ruler, being particularly careful. If I cut over one fabric, it's fine. I'll clean up the edges afterwards. And what I'm going to do is organize all the fabrics into 4 piles. I'm going to organize them into decorative fabrics, which are mainly flowers or other shapes, the words. You can see on the top of the pattern it says believe in yourself, and that's on one of the fabrics. So that is decorative fabric. I'll put all that in one pile. I put all the background pieces. I'm looking at the pattern itself and organizing the background pieces into a pile, and then all the bee body parts are in a pile, and then there's about 3 or 4 pieces of orange that are separate that go on the bee's bottom. So now's the fun part. Now I start with the background fabrics. I remove the paper from the fabric and make sure that the sticky stuff is attached to the fabric. If it's not attached to the fabric and it's staying on the paper, then take it back to the iron and iron it again because it didn't get hot enough and it didn't stick to the fabric. You want the fabric to have stickiness on the back. It's not gonna, when you place the fabric on the pattern ease, it's not gonna stay permanently until you iron it again, which is great because you can continually move your fabrics around until you get them in just the right spot, and then when you're all done and you iron it, then they will be stuck there forever. So I'm using the background fabrics and I'm filling in every spot that has any background area on it, and I'm even covering up the bee, and that's okay. And I'll show you why in a minute. I jumped ahead here because it was kind of a slow video watching me place background fabrics, but you can see I went based off of the photo on the pattern, and that's how I placed my background fabrics, but you can do it however you like. I actually ran out of background fabrics and used some of the orange that was supposed to be for the bottom and use that to fill in some spots. You can use any fabric. If you have extra from other Laura Heine kits, those all go together too. So now I'm going to start on the bee. And what I did, I'm going to start with the legs, the bottom legs, and I'm going to use the original pattern, and I'm going to take the fabric I'm going to use for the leg and I'm going to remove the fabric from the paper. You can remove it all the way, or you can just kind of lift some of it up. Whatever works better for you is fine. And I'm going to trace out the leg onto the piece of paper using, here I use a pen, later I use a Sharpie, but I ultimately ended up just using a pencil. Anything will work as long as you can see it through the back side of the paper so you can cut it out. So I'm going to use my Karen Buckley scissors, which is recommended by Laura Heine because the Karen Buckley scissors have a serrated edge, which keeps the fabric from fraying. So these are great scissors. These are special scissors that you don't let your husband or kids use for anything other than you cutting fabric. It's those kind of scissors. I'm going to cut out the leg and reorient it by placing it on top of the actual pattern to make sure I have it in the right spot. Then I can take the paper off of the back of it. And then you can lift up the background fabric and use your traced out bee to figure out where your leg is supposed to go. And that's just what I'm doing. So now I'm gonna do the second leg, and I'm gonna use the same process for the entire bee. I'm going to lift up the fabric from the paper, trace out whatever body part I'm doing, cut it out, and remove the paper from the back, and then put it onto my project. And you can lift up all the background fabric to figure out where it goes. That's why we traced it ahead of time, so we have two reference points, the traced pattern and the pattern itself. That way you'll make sure you get all the body parts where they're supposed to go. And then once I finish the bee, I do the bee legs, the antenna, the wings, the body part, the thorax, I suppose. And then the last thing I do is I cut out the decorative pieces, which are the flowers, and then I place them however I see fit. That's the funnest part of the project, is when you get to do all the little decorative pieces. So make sure you have fun with that. You can use her pattern design, the photo, and base it off that, which is what I did in this video. I tried just to match it with hers. You can put the flowers wherever you like and however you like. You can change out fabrics however you see fit.
What's that noise?
That's a firework, baby. You can have fun with it. The rest of this video is just me placing all the body parts onto the fabric, and it's a long video. I tried to speed it up as fast as I could, but I didn't want to delete it because somebody might want to see how I placed each part. So if you feel comfortable, move ahead in the video and you can see what I do once I'm done with the bee and how it looks, or you can continue watching to see the order I placed all the body parts. Okay, so here I'm finishing up my bee. I'm just adding the last pieces of flowers onto the wings. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And if you have any suggestions or things you want to see me do, you can put it in my comments or send me an email. The link I will add. Here, once you're done and you have everything exactly where you want it, then your final job is ironing it. And when you iron it, don't slide the iron across the fabric because it might lift. You just want to pat it. So lift the iron and place it on top of the fabric. Do not slide it until you're absolutely sure that the fabric and the glue has heated itself and bonded to the fabric underneath. And here is my final completed project. Came out kind of cute. And here's another bee I had done prior that I switched the fabrics up. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next video.